सगले द्वार को छाड़ के कहो दोहार द्वार वाहि कहे लाज आस गोविंद दास दोहार सगले द्वार को छाड़ के कहो दोहार द्वार वाहि कहे लाज आस गोविंद दास दोहार सगले द्वार को छाड़ के कहो दोहारो द्वार वाहि कहे की लाज आस गोविंद दास दोहार वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
This one as well. They're in the same. Can you do this one as well? WhyGuru ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru ji ki Fateh. Thank you all for coming, firstly. So, for those of you that aren't aware, we done a job-based WhyGuru Simran in memory of one of our younger brothers who's only 8 years old. He actually was hit by a lorry not too far from here in Southall, and unfortunately lost his life when he got to hospital. So the job we saw today and the Simran was obviously in memory of our younger brother, and also just to give his loved one some much needed strength at this time. So I think it's worth me saying that although today's talk might get light-hearted at times, we might have a laugh, albeit, in no way, shape or form is that taken away from the seriousness of what's going on outside, right? So when we do these talks, I'm sure the other speakers will agree with me, when we do these talks, it's almost like we have to get into a bit of a bubble, and we have to just lock off everything that's going on outside, everything that's happening internally as well, and we've just got to give this everything we've got. So I invite you guys, just for the next 20 minutes, half an hour, just to do the same. So let's jump into this bubble. Let's learn about Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, whose life is absolutely incredible. Let's learn what we can, and then we'll take that back out into the world once we finish. So what we'll do, we'll start off with a shabad. It's a very famous shabad. If you know the words, then please do join in. And then we'll say Fateh, and then we'll jump straight into it. हम अवगुण परे एक गुण नाही अमृत छाड़ बिखे बिख खाई माया मोह परम पह पूले सुत दारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत तेह मलंत जम त्रास मिटाई एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुर रामदास राखो सरनाई एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुर रामदास राखो सरनाई। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Okay, so Sangatji, from the beginning of this year, we've been going through the Ardaas bit by bit, week by week. And last week we had a bit of a crazy Kahoot quiz to test everyone's knowledge. I'm not going to lie, it got a bit rowdy. Our very own Rajvinder Singh picked Sikh to Inspire right at the end. It was quite exciting actually. It was a really good quiz. So we hope you guys enjoyed that, and that's something we can continue moving forward. So now we come back to going through the Ardaas. And now we're at the point where we say Ram Dase Hoi Sahai. That may Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, may they be my support. Now before I was blessed to do this research into Guru Maharaj's life, these words didn't carry much weight, if I'm completely honest. Well, I'll do an Ardaas and it'll be like Angad Kurte Amar Das Ram Dase Hoi Sahai Arjan Har Gobind. Like I'll just skip over it. It didn't really mean much, if I'm being honest with you guys. But now I know about Maharaj's life, and these words have taken on a whole different meaning. So I hope in the next 20 minutes, half an hour, I can relay that message, what I've been blessed to learn, to you guys. So starting off with Maharaj's, there we go. Starting off with Maharaj's family. Okay, so their father was someone called Baba Haridas Ji, and their mother was called Mata Daya Kaur Ji. These names may or may not come up in the next quiz. I can neither confirm or deny this, all right? So I hope you're taking notes, Isha Singh, yeah? So Baba Haridas Ji is their father, Mata Daya Kaur Ji is their mother. And they were Prakash in 1534. So for the Guru Sahiban, we say Prakash. So Prakash means they were revealed. And that's really just out of respect. So if we were to say that they were born, it's a bit like we're saying they were just human, right? But Guru Sahib is so beyond the human form. So out of respect, we say they were Prakash, they were revealed, right? And when they were Prakash in Lahore, Guru Ramdas Ji, their name was actually Ramdas. So their father was called Baba Haridas, and they named their son Ramdas. Now the name Bhai Jetha Ji came along because they were actually the elder brother of two younger siblings, and Jetha means eldest. Okay, so Bhai Jetha Ji, Guru Ramdas Ji, same person. We're going to be using both names throughout this talk. So 1534. Now, what's significant about this year is that our fourth Guru is Prakash in this year, but the first three Gurus, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji, they are all in their physical bodies on the earth at the same time. All right, so it's pretty cool. So the fourth Guru has taken Prakash, and the first three Guru Sahiban are all on the earth as well in their physical bodies. So my first question to you guys is, who do you think was Guru in 1534? Do you think Guru Nanak Dev Ji at this point passed it on to Guru Angad Dev Ji? Do you think Guru Amar Das Ji was the Guru? Let's just have a quick show of hands. So who thinks Guru Amar Das Ji, our third Guru, was the Guru at this time? No one? All right, what about Guru Angad Dev Ji? 1534, Guru Angad Dev Ji, yeah? A couple? About 10, 12, 15 now? Okay. Who thinks Guru Nanak Dev Ji was still Guru at this time? Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Okay, majority, yes. It was still Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They were still the Guru. So just to talk you guys through a little bit of the geography of where everyone was. So this is all taking place in northern India, right? In the Punjab region. And so you've got a few different places. Here you've got Lahore. This is where Bhai Jetha Ji is Prakash, right? Our fourth Guru. Then you've got Basarke. So Baba Amar Das Ji, they're not the Guru yet. They're over here in Basarke, okay? And then at the top there on the right, you've got Bhai Lena Ji. Bhai Lena Ji is with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And they've been with Guru Nanak Dev Ji for about 2 years at this point. Okay, so who knows what seva Guru Nanak Dev Ji was put in to Bhai Lena Ji? What tests they were putting them through? Maybe this was the year they asked them to shake that tree. All right, maybe 1534 was the year they asked them to pluck the weeds when they saw them plucking out everything else. Okay, so that's just where everyone was. And I think it's beautiful because their stories intertwine at different points, which we'll get into in a bit. Okay, and this Gurdwara Sahib, this was actually constructed by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and this is on the actual house where Guru Ramdas Ji was Prakash. So their childhood home, this is the Gurdwara there now. And if you look carefully, it actually looks very much like Harmandir Sahib, doesn't it? If you look at the shape of the spires at the top, if it was covered in gold, the top half, you would think it was Harmandir Sahib, right? The design is very similar. And then here's just a quick shot of what it looks like inside as well, okay? Now, Bhai Jetha Ji's life story is incredible. Honestly, there's nothing like it. So what happens is, Bhai Jetha Ji, when they're 2 years old, Mata Daya Kaur Ji, they pass away. Okay? So he's 2 years old and he loses his mother. Remember, he's got a younger brother and sister as well. So they could only have been one and the other one maybe a couple of months old. Right? Such a young age. Imagine how important a mother is for a young child at that age. And they lost their mother, Mata Daya Kaur Ji. Right? Then all of that responsibility of those 3 kids falls to Baba Haridas Ji, who only survives his wife by 5 years. So when Bhai Jetha Ji is 2 years old, they lose their mother. 5 years later, when they're 7 years old, they lose their father now. Now the kids are all alone. And when I say all alone, I mean all alone, because none of the rest of the family in Lahore would take them in at that time. None of them. So imagine, I'm sure some of you here have got brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, maybe cousins that have got kids. If anything happened to your brothers and sisters, if anything happened to your cousins, and their kids were alone, right, orphaned, I'm sure some of us would step in and be like, okay, this is my responsibility now, I've got to do something, right? But not in the case of Bhai and their siblings. They were all alone. The only person that came for the kids was Bhai Nanni ji. Right, so Mata Daya Kaur ji's mother. She came all the way from Basarke to Lahore to stay with the kids. Now look at this family unit, right? You've got 3 very young kids. The eldest is 7 years old. Then you've got their grandmother, an elderly woman. Right, so there's no one in the middle, there's no one in that sort of middle age who's a breadwinner. No one really fit and able to go out and earn a living, to put food on the table, right? So Bhai Jetaji, at 7 years old, he thinks to himself, I have to go and support my family. I have to go and work. Is anyone here about 7 years old? Just out of interest. Anyone here? 6, 7, 8 years old? Little thing at the front? Are you 7? You're 8. Okay, imagine you had to do your dad's job. Imagine. Do you think you'll be able to do it? No. That's quite scary, isn't it? So that's basically what Bhai Jetaji had to do. When he was about your age, he had to go out in the world and work. Right? It's quite scary. So what happened was, his Nanni ji weaved him a basket. Right? And in that basket, they'd fill it with gungania. It's like boiled, boiled grain, you can call it, right? So what he would do is put this massive basket on his head and just hope to sell as much as he could so he could put food on the table. Imagine, 7 years old. Look at the weight on his head. Not just the weight of that basket, but the weight of his whole family now. His younger brother and sister, his older grandmother, all on the head of a 7-year-old. This is unbelievable. So what happens is, on the first day, they go out to sell and they meet a sadhu, right, a holy man. And the sadhu says, look, I've got no money, but I'm very hungry. Can you just give me a handful of these gungania? Bhai Jetaji, they reach in, they give them a handful, and then the sadhu says, there's a whole group of us over there. Do you mind if we take some more? Bhai Jetaji, without even hesitating, starts to empty their basket and says, take it, take it, take it. And this is very similar, if you think about it, to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, isn't it? When they were sent with those rupees, they just gave. Right, without thinking, they gave to sadhus as well. So Bhai Jetaji, a different physical body, but the attributes of our Guru is always the same. Right? There's no difference whatsoever. So they go out, they sell for a little bit of time, and then eventually the Naniji, she thinks to herself, look, this isn't working out. It's better that we move back to Basarke, where she's from. So she packs all of their belongings and she takes 3 little kids with her. As they're walking through Lahore, they pass the houses of the relatives of Bhai Jetaji. So imagine you guys, you kids as well, imagine when you see some of your relatives when you go to their houses, right? They're always happy to see you. Well, I hope they are anyway, right? But they're happy to see you, right? When we see our family, we're happy. What did Bhai Jetaji's family do? They saw the Nanni walking with the 3 kids, they slammed their doors shut. That we hope that they don't come into our house now. We don't want the responsibility of 3 kids. Right? Let them go where they're going. They shut all their doors. Imagine this is their own close family in Lahore, shutting their doors on 3 children and a grandmother. Now, they go to Basarke and they meet Baba Ardaas ji. Right? And this is where the stories intertwine. So Baba Ardaas ji, before they become our 3rd Guru, they've already met the 4th Guru at a very young age. And what do they say to the Nanni ji? They say, look, we know you've come from Lahore to Basarke, and there's just 4 of you at home now. So anything you need, anything at all, you come to us. Right? Whatever you need, come to us, we'll give it to you. Again, the qualities of our Guru, that compassion, that love, is always consistent throughout. So now the young boy, that 7-year-old boy, grows up and he spends the next 10 or so years of his life selling kungniya, selling things from this basket on his head. So it's such a hard life Bhai Jethji went through, right? Now when they're 17, 18 years old, a lot of people from Basarke moved to Goindwal Sahib. Goindwal Sahib is a new town that's being built by Guru Amardas Ji, right? So Guru Amardas Ji, Baba Amardas Ji, they've now become the Guru. And they're now establishing Goindwal Sahib. So, just to give you guys a bit of the geography, now by Jethji, they've gone from Lahore. From Lahore, they've gone to Basarke. From Basarke, now they're going to Goindwal Sahib. They're about 17, 18 years old. Imagine, 2 years old, lost their mother. 7 years old, lost their father. Everyone, all their family that they know, shut their door on them. It's only their one elderly grandmother who's willing to look after them. The distance they travel is about 100 kilometers. Imagine, they're about 100 kilometers now away from where they grew up. Right? This life is like unlike any other. So what they do, they continue, not only do they continue selling this boiled grain, but they always carry a basket on their head. Whenever you see Bhai Jethji, they've always got a basket on their head. It's either full of boiled grain that they're trying to sell, or it's full of mud because they're actually excavating for Goindwal Sahib. Or this basket on their head is full of cement, right, to actually construct Goindwal Sahib. They've always got a basket on their head, always doing seva. Right? So they spent most of their life with this basket on their head. So now in Goindwal Sahib, what happens is Mata Mansa Devi, the wife of Guru Amardas Ji, our third Guru, she thinks to herself, our daughter Bibi Bhani Ji is of an age where she needs to get married now. Okay, so she's speaking with her husband, she's speaking with Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj. And Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj, they ask their wife, they say, so what kind of guy do you want for our daughter? Right? What does he need to have? What kind of person do you want? Excuse me. Mata Mansa Devi, she turns around and she thinks to herself and she says, you know what? Someone like Bhai Jethji, someone like that Sevadar there. When Guru Amardas Ji asks why, she says there's just something about him. He is different. The way he does seva, that heart he's got, that's so clean. The way he speaks, he's olag. He's separate from everyone else. Guru Amardas Ji, they're laughing. They say, you want someone like Bhai Jethji? There's no one like Bhai Jethji. There's only him. They are literally alag. They are separate from everyone else. Those qualities they've got, no other sevadar has got that. If you want to marry someone like Bhai Jethji to our daughter, Bibi Bhani Ji, then it has to be Bhai Jethji. This young kid, 17, 18 years old, who spent most of their life with a basket on their head. So now, Mata Mansa Devi, she's thinking, okay, if we go ahead with this, if we fix Bibi Bhani Ji with Bhai Jethji, then there's some things that she's thinking now, some checks that she wants to carry out. So my question to you guys is, if you guys had a daughter who was going to get married, right? Some of my sisters might already have been in this position if they're married, but what sort of checks would the bride's family do before marrying off their daughter into another family? What might they check out? Has anyone got any ideas? What checks might they do? What do they do? Credit checks? Finance checks? DVS checks? Any idea? What sort of checks would they do? Let's see, who's on our specialist panel today? On our specialist panel, we've got Bhai Harpreet Singh. Thank you so much, bro. Really grateful of you being on our specialist panel. Our second panel member is Bhai Harveer Singh. Thank you so much, bro. And our third panelist today is by Arjan Singh Ji. By Arjan Singh, thank you so much for volunteering to be on our specialist panel. So the way we're going to work this is, if no one's got any answers, then we're going to come to you three experts for your answers, right? For your ideas. So the question is, if you were going to get your daughter married, what sort of checks might you carry out on the family that she's going to marry into? What sort of things might you look at? Any ideas? Let's go for Harpreet Singh first. Secure jobs, secure income, yeah, definitely. What are they going to provide for the daughter, right? That's a very good point. Definitely, that's one. By Harveer Singh, any ideas? What might you check? If if you're going to marry your daughter off? What might you, or who might you want to meet? No? Okay, cool. Arjun Singh, help him out. Yes, good family, of course. You'd want to meet their family, right? You'd want to know, what sort of family is my daughter marrying into? So these are the things that Mata Mansa Devi is thinking about in her mind. She's thinking about home. What sort of home will my daughter marry into? Now she thinks about Bhaijetaji, and she thinks Bhaijetaji doesn't even have a home. They don't. They don't have a home. They left Lahore when they were a kid. They're staying at their nanny's house. They don't have a home. Even their own family shut their door on them. So she's worried now. They don't have a house. The second thing she's worried about is food. How is Bhaijetaji going to provide for my daughter? Right? Remember, they sell kunganiya. They're not raking it in. They're not like a merchant with a shop, and they're not selling loads of good. They're literally just scraping by, right? Day after day. So she's worried. She's got this doubt in her mind now that how is my daughter going to be fed? And the third thing is family. Like Arjun Singh said, what sort of family are they? Okay, so Bhaijetaji, she's saying, look, they lost their parents at a very young age. They've got no parents. All the family in Lahore, they shut their door on them. Literally all they've got is a younger brother and sister and their Naniji. That's it. So she's thinking there's no way. There's no way we can marry Bibi Bhani ji to Bhaijetaji. So now Guru Amardas ji, they give a jawab. They give a response to all three of these things. They say to Mata Mansa Devi, they say, look, you're worried about the house of Bhaijetaji? They said the house of Bhaijetaji, even though all those doors were closed on Bhaijetaji, the house that Bhaijetaji is going to have is a house with 4 doors on all sides, and they're never going to close those doors. That means that anyone can go there. That's the sort of house that Bhaijetaji is going to have. He says you're worried about food. That same house of Bhaijetaji is going to serve so much food that thousands upon thousands of people every single day are going to be fed from that one house. He says you're worried about Bhaijetaji's family. They say in his house, in that lineage, there's going to be such a family that's born that as long as there are people on this earth, that family is going to exist. Who is that family, Sangatji? I'm looking at it right now. It's us, isn't it? This is our history. This is who we descend from. We descend from an orphan. Right? This is our history. This is who we are. Okay? So it's so beautiful when we think about it like that. Right? And look at everything that Bhaijetaji didn't have and what he gave us. All the doors were closed on him, right? When he left his house. So those doors, he now leaves open for us. Not only the doors at Harmandir Sahib, but the doors to the Guru Ghar, they're always open. Right? They're never shut for us. The food, you want to taste the food of Bhaijetaji? You've only got to go downstairs. Taste it, it's beautiful. Right? The family, like I said, it's all of us. This is our history. Right? This is us. This is where we come from. It's so beautiful. So what happens is the wedding's set. Right? They're going to get married. Now Guru Amardas ji asked Bhaijetaji if they want a dowry. A dowry, for anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of like I don't want to say bribe. I think bribe's the wrong word. It's kind of like a gift. Right? I'll put gift in exclamation mark. So it's a gift in speech mark, sorry. Okay, so a dowry is normally paid by the bride's side of the family. Okay, and it normally consists of jewelry. It could be gold, could be property, right? So loads of gifts. And Guru Amardas is asking their future son-in-law now, do you want a dowry? So who thinks, let's just have a show of hands, who thinks yes, Bhaijetaji asked for a dowry at this time? Anyone? Any hands up? Who thinks no, Bhaijetaji did not ask for a dowry at this time? Everyone with your hands up now, you're all wrong. Bhaijetaji definitely asked for a dowry. He says, yes, please. What kind of dowry does Bhaijetaji ask for? You're all going to know the words, so let's say it together. They say at that time, Har ke jan sat gur sat purkha bino karo gur paas ham kire kiram sat gur sarnai kar daya naam pargas mere meet Gurudev moko Ram naam pargas Gurmat naam mera pran sakhai har kirat hamri rehras. Amazing. That's what they said at that time. So let's break it down. They say, Har ke jan. Okay? They're saying, they are making this request as a servant. They're saying, WhyGuru Guru Ardaas ji sat opposite me, you are WhyGuru, you are God. Right? I am your Jan, I am your servant. Har ke jan Satgur Satpurkha. You are the Satguru, you are literally the form of the truth. Right? You're the true form of the one. Bino, Guru, Gurpas. This word is really important. Bino. Bino means benti. It's an Ardaas. So the fourth Guru is doing an Ardaas to the third Guru. And what are they saying? Bino, Guru, Gurpas are making this request to you. Right? So they start off very low. Imagine when the groom side of the family, when they ask for a dowry, they always go in with like really high demands. Some of them actually pride themselves on how much they were able to fleece the bride side of the family, right? It's crazy. But here, by Jetaji is coming very low. They're saying, Har ke jan. They're saying, I'm doing this bino, I'm doing this benti, but how are they doing it? How are they doing this benti? Excuse me. They say, Ham kire, I'm just an ant. That's all I am. Ham kire. Kiram. A kiram is like the smallest little, most insignificant insect. Ham kire, kiram, satgur, saranai. I've come into your sharan, Maharaj. This ant that I am, I've just crawled into your sanctuary. Kardaya, have compassion on me, have pity on me. And what do I want? Naam pargas. Give me naam. Give me this meditation, that Jopi side we did earlier, right? The WhyGuru Simran, all of this, give me that naam, give me that experience, that's all I want. They go on to say, Mere meet Gurudev, oh Guruji, my bestest friend, Moko Ram Naam Paragas. Right? Give me naam. Again, this is the second time they're asking for it. Then they go on to say, Gurmat naam mera pran sakhai. They say the reason we want this naam, it's my pran sakhai. Pran means breath, and sakhai means like support or life force. So essentially what they're saying is, I can't even breathe. I can't even live without naam, without remembering the one. That's how important it is. Gurmat naam mera pran sakhai har kirata hamri rehras. Har kirata. To do Kirtan of WhyGuru, to sing WhyGuru's praises is my rehras, is my Ardaas. This is all I want from you, Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj. So the next time you read or listen to this Shabad, remember by Jetaji having that conversation with their father-in-law. Okay, so we've spoken about by Jetaji, but what about Bibi Bhani ji? What sort of person was the Guru's own daughter? So they were known for having a lot of bala. Does anyone know what bala means? We covered it in the first week. What does bala mean? Any ideas? Bala. Kisi da bala karna. What does that mean? If you do someone's bala. Any ideas before we go to our select committee members? Hanji, Harveer Singh. Go on, son. Yep. Yes. Fine. So bala means service. It can also mean to do good for someone, which actually is service, so you're absolutely right. To do someone's bala is to serve someone, to help someone. Bibi Bhani ji was famous for this sort of attitude. She was always thinking about other people, not herself. Now what happens is one day, she's in the same room as her father, Guru Amardas ji. Now they're sat on a manji and they're meditating. As she's walking around, she notices that the leg of this manja is about to break. It's about to snap. And what would happen? Guru Amardas ji's meditation, that naam, that Bhajeta ji asked for, that meditation, that experience, would break then. So what does she do? She rushes over, and as the bed leg snaps, she holds it, she catches it with her hands. And she lets the whole weight of that bed come onto her hands. And a long time passes. She's got the whole weight, imagine that bed, just on her hands. Right? Her hands aren't very strong. They're a very thin piece of flesh. So she's there for ages. The bed, it digs in so much that Bibi Bhaniji's hand starts to bleed. After a really long time, Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj, they open their eyes. They look at their daughter at the corner of their bed, kneeling down, blood everywhere. They quickly get up, they tend to their daughter. They say, what are you doing? Why are you covered in blood from your hands? What's going on? When Bibi Bhaniji tells him that, Maharaj, I didn't want your naam to be disturbed. I didn't want your meditation to be disturbed. Guru Amardas Ji, they're so happy with this. They say, ask for something. Whatever you want, ask for it. I'll give it to you. And what she says is, she says something really interesting. She says, all I want is for the Guru Gadi, all of the Gurus to come now, let them be born in my family. And you might think, hold on a minute, we just said Bibi Bhaniji is all about other people, and she is saying, make sure the Guru Gadi stays in my family, right? Seems a bit maybe selfish, you could say. Then Guru Amardas Ji, they say, do you understand the weight of what you are saying? Do you understand the seriousness of what you're asking for? Bibi Bhaniji says yes. She says, I know the Gurus that are to come, they're going to have to sit on hot plates. They're going to have hot sand poured all over them, and their skin is going to have to boil. They're going to have disease. They're going to have to take on disease. The Gurus that are to come, they're going to have to give their own head. The Gurus that are to come, they're going to have to watch their eldest sons, their own sons, die in battle in front of them. That's the sort of Gurus that are going to come now. And she says, let it not be someone else's child that suffers. Let it not be someone else's child that has to sit on that hot plate. Let it be my child. Let my child have all that hot sand poured on them. Let it be my lineage who takes upon that disease. Let it be my lineage who give their heads, who give their own children. Let it be mine. Don't let other families suffer like mine's going to suffer in the future. That's what Bibi Bhaniji said. So it all makes sense now, right? Why she made that request. So now Guru Amardas Ji, they grant this. They say, fine. And from then on, the Guruship stayed in Bibi Bhaniji's family. So Bibi Bhaniji, they marry Guru Ramdas Ji. And they have 3 sons. So you've got Baba Priti Chand Ji, Baba Mahadev Ji, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And you're going to find out a lot more about these in the next coming weeks. So now what happens is, it's time to pass on the Guru Gadi. Right? So Guru Amardas Ji is thinking, now who's going to be the next Guru? So what they do is, they get Bhai Jethji on one side and Bhai Ramaji. Bhai Ramaji is their other son-in-law. Bhai Ramaji is the husband of Bibi Bhani. So you've got Bibi Bhani, Bibi Bhani. They're both sisters, and they're married to Bhai Jethji and Bhai Ramaji respectfully. Okay, now Guru Amardas Ji, they say to the 2 son-in-laws that, look, I need a stool. It needs to be this high, this wide, this long. Make it for me. So the 2 son-in-laws, they go ahead. They start making one stool over there, and Bhai Jethji's over there making his stool. Once they finish, Guru Amardas Ji, they come round, they start shaking their head. They say, Bhai Ramaji, what is this? What is this you've made? Bhai Ramaji says, this is the stool, how you told me to make it. He goes, no, it's not. He goes, take this stool, crush it, get rid of it, start again. But this time, make sure you make it how I told you to make it. They go over to Bhai Jethji. They say, Jethia, what have you done? You got it wrong as well. You weren't listening to what I was saying. Bhai Jethji, they say, Maharaj, my intellect is so low. I'm that stupid, I don't even know how to understand your instruction. I'm so sorry, Bhai Jethji says. They start breaking the stool down straight away. Then they've made the stalls a second time. Bhai Ramaji, making all the checks, making sure it's perfect this time. Bhai Jethji as well. Guru Amardas Ji come through. What is this? Bhai Ramaji, this is the second time I've told you now, this is wrong. Bhai Ramaji, they say to their father-in-law, don't ask me to break this down now. I've put so much effort into this the second time. Don't you dare, they say to their father-in-law. Don't you dare ask me to break this down now. Guru Amardas Ji says you're going to have to. It's wrong. Everything you've done there is not how I wanted it. Wrong. Start again. They go to Bhai Jethji. They say, Jethya, you've done it wrong the second time as well. What's wrong with you two? None of you are listening. He says, Maharaj, bless me. Please bless me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I actually don't know what I'm doing. He goes, look, just try again. Try a third time now. So the two son-in-laws, they try a third time to make these stools. When the third time comes round, Guru Amardas ji, again, shaking their head. They say to Bhai Rama ji, we've told you now many times, you've gone and built it wrong again. Bhai Rama ji says to their father-in-law, they say, you know what? You're quite old. Imagine. They say that to Guru Amardas ji. They say, you're in your 90s now. You're quite old. Get the hint, right? You're not as sharp as you once were. The problem, the fault, is with you. They go to Bhai Jetta ji. They say, Jettia, many times we told you. Many times we told you how to make it. You've done it wrong again and again and again. Bhai Jetta ji, they burst into tears. They fall at the feet of Guru Amardas ji. Guru Amardas ji looks down. They say, why are you holding my feet? Why are you crying? Bhai Jetta ji says, I'm crying because you're so great. Guru Amardas ji, you're so great, that's why I'm crying. Guru Amardas ji says, what do you mean? Bhai Jetta ji, they say, Maharaj, no matter how many mistakes I make, no matter how many times I misunderstand what you're saying, no matter how many times I forget what you've said to me, you still take me in, Maharaj. You still have that compassion for me. That's how great you are. All the faults lie with me. But you, Maharaj, you're so great that no matter how bad I am, your door's always open for me. You always give me another chance. That's why I'm crying, says Bhai Jetta ji. So now they've passed the test, and now the Gurgaddi passes to Bhai Jetta ji, who is now known as Guru Ramdas ji. Imagine that same child who lost their mother at 2 years old. That same child who lost their father at 7 years old, walked around with a basket on their head. The same child whose doors were closed by all their family members. That same child is now the son-in-law. Not only are they the son-in-law of the Guru, of the third Guru, but they've now become the Guru. They are now sat on the throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. That orphan who had no one has now been given the biggest throne ever. It's beautiful. So Guru Ramdas ji are now the Guru, and we're just going to finish off with a shabad from a famous Bart. A Bart is a poet. So Guru Ramdas ji, they kept many poets in their court. And one of the most famous poets was Bart Kirat. Bart Kirat, they do an Ardaas to Maharaj. Right? And it's the shabad we said at the beginning. They say, Ham avguna pare ek gun nahi. They say, Maharaj, I'm full of avgun. So a gun is a good quality, and avgun is a bad quality. So you know how we say like anger, greed, lust, attachment, all of these things? Bart Kirat is saying, that's what I'm full of. Ham avguna pare ek gun nahi. Not only that, I've not even got one bit of goodness in me. So they're coming in low. Right? Just like the Ardaas that Bhai Jetta ji did. They're always coming in low. They said, Ham Kire. Bart Kirat here is saying, I'm full of demerits. I've got nothing good inside me. Ek gun nahi amrit chhad bikhe bikkhai. That I've left amrit. This Amrit Bani that you're telling me to sing, this Amrit Bani that you're telling me to read and experience, I've left it, I've forgotten about it. Right? Bikhe bikkhai. I've now consumed poison instead of your Amrit. Why? What poison are they consuming? They go on to say, Maya moho, this Maya, this illusion, this world, that's fake, it's just temporary. They say, Maya moh parampe pule. Right? It's so powerful, that attachment is so powerful that I'm now in doubt. I've got so much doubts in my mind. You know, people doubt these Sakya about Maharaj and their Gursikhs, whether they really did this, whether they really turned into lions, right? We get that comment a lot on the Diwali animation. It's because this Maya is so more. The more for this Maya is so much the attachment to this world, right? This world is quote unquote logical, but it's actually not. We've never seen someone turn into a lion. So that's why the thought of a Gursikh turning into a lion is beyond our comprehension. But Maharaj can do anything. Maharaj can do anything. Those ones that have merged with Maharaj can do anything. It's child's play to these people, right? So they're saying that I'm so attached to this Maya that I've forgotten about you. I'm in doubt now. Sutta dara syo prita ragai. So they say Sut, Dara, my family members, my children, my spouse, I've fallen in love with them now, instead of you, Maharaj. There's nothing wrong with loving your family, by the way, right? And I'm not saying no one can love their family, but the point here is, Bhartgirath is saying, I've loved my family so much that I've actually forgotten about my Guru. Okay, so then they go on to say, Eka uttama pantha sunio guru sangat. That's sunio. I've heard that the highest path in the world is what we're doing right now. Guru sangat. What everyone's doing right now. Tehe malanta, jamatras mitai. That by going and doing that sangat, by going and learning, by going and doing that simran, by learning, experiencing, even the fear of death leaves me. That's how powerful it is. That's what I've heard he's saying. Then they finish off by saying, Ika Ardaas. This is my Ardaas, Bhartgirath ki. Right? This is Bhartgirath ji's Ardaas. Guru Ramdas Rakho Saranai. That Guru Ramdas Sahib ji Maharaj, please keep me in your sharan. Keep me with you, Maharaj. Don't let me go. Keep your doors open for me. So, Sikhi is a very hard path, right? I'm sure some of us can think of doors that have closed on us whilst we're walking this path of Sikhi, right? It is a hard path. Maybe we've lost friends. Maybe we've lost family members that have shut their door on us, right? It's quite a common thing nowadays. So, but look at Guru Ramdas ji, they had all those doors shut on them, but they'll never shut their door on us, no matter who we are. So when we say Ramdas se hoy sahai, the next time we hear or say these words in the Ardaas, remember that little orphan who lost their mother and father. Remember them carrying that basket on their head. Remember Maharaj building that stool. And just like that 7-year-old supported their family at such a young age, that is literally how Guru Ramdas ji is going to support all of us as well. So Sangat ji, we've come to the end of the talk. Before we wrap up and move on to the Kirtan, has anyone got any vichar or any questions of their own? Before we move on? Select committee, you guys are great today. Thank you so much for your contribution. See you guys again next week. Okay, no questions? Okay, fine. So we'll move on to some Kirtan now. Just before I wrap up, I've made so many mistakes, Sangat ji. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for all the mistakes I've made. And let's finish off with the Fateh ji. WhyGuru ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru ji ki Fateh.
हम अवगुण पर एक गुण नाही, अमृत छाड़ बिखै बिख खाए, माया मोह भरम पै भूले, ਸੁਤ ਦਾਰਾ ਸਿਓ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਲਗਾਈ। ਇੱਕ ਉੱਤਮ ਪੰਥ ਸੁਣਿਓ ਗੁਰ ਸੰਗਤ, ਤਿਹ ਮਿਲੰਤ ਜਮ ਤਰਾਸ ਮਿਟਾਏ। ਇੱਕ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਰਤ ਕੇ, ਗੁਰ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਰਾਖੋ ਸਰਨਾਈ। ਗੁਰ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਰਾਖੋ ਸਰਨਾਈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ, ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਜੀ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਹਰ ਕੇ ਜਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਤਿਪੁਰਖਾ। ਹਰ ਕੇ ਜਨ ਬਿਨੋ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਸ। ਬਿਨੋ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਸ। ਬਿਨੋ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਸ। ਬਿਨੋ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਸ। ਹਮ ਕੀਰੇ ਕੇ ਰਮ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਰਨਾਏ। ਕਰ ਦਿਆ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। 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 ਕਰ ਦਿਆ ਨਾਮ। ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ। ਮੋਕੋ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਨ ਸਖਾਏ। ਹਰ ਕੀਰਤ ਹਮਰੇ ਰਹਿ ਰਾਸ। ਹਰ ਕੀਰਤ ਹਮਰੇ ਰਹਿ ਰਾਸ। ਹਰ हमरी रहरास हर कीरत हमरी रहरास हर के वाहिगुरु जी हर जन के वड भाग वडेरे जिन हर हर सरदा हर प्यास जिन हर हर सरदा हर प्यास जिन हर हर सरदा हर हर सरदा हर प्यास हर हर नाम मिलत पतास है हर हर नाम मिल संगत गुण परगास मिल संगत गुण परगास जिन हर 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 रस नाम ना पाया हर 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 रस बागहीन दम पास बागहीन दम पास जो सतगुर शरण संगत नहीं आए जो सतगुर शरण त्रिग जीवे त्रिग जीवास त्रिग जीवे त्रिग जिन हर जन सतगुर संगत पाए जिन हर जन सतगुर तिन धुर मस्तक लिखिया लिखास तिन धुर मस्तक लिखिया लिखास तिन धुर मस्तक लिखिया लिखास धन धन सतसंगत जित हार रस पाया धन धन सतसंगत जित हार रस पाया मिल जन नानक नाम परगास 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਜਪੋ ਜੀ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਮੋਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਸਤਿਨਾਮ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਧੰਨ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਧੰਨ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ